All right, hello, welcome to the 2023 San Francisco Independent Short Film Festival, another Q&A for Bay Area talents. The filmmakers from Bay Area are here. Hey guys,
Hey,
so
hello.
good of you to join us. So nice to have you here. So nice to have you guys with completed films. Congratulations on making a movie.
Thank you.
I know
Thanks.
it's hard. Oh, we got some latecomers coming in here. Come on in, Jacqueline. We're just getting started. Welcome. So I'll go around and just have you kind of state your name and your role in your film. Normandy, you're first up on my screen, so please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Normandy Ramirez, and I am the producer of the film The Unbroken Sky.
Excellent. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Rajiv, you're next on my screen.
Hi everyone, I'm Rajiv. I am an actor and a director of the short film Greta.
Fantastic. Funny film. Luke, hi.
Hey, I'm Luke. I'm the writer, director, editor of Please Call for an Interview.
Okay. And please call in to watch more movies. Advanced placement. Sam, you're next. Thanks for putting your film in your title there.
Yeah, no problem. Hi, I'm Sam. I was the writer director of Advanced Placement.
Fun little film. No dialogue, if I remember correctly.
Yep, no dialogue.
Okay. Wes, good to see you again. A repeat festival goer.
Thanks for having me again. So I'm Wes Teray, and
Louise Franco. We're
Hey, Louise.
co-directors of Portswomen.
Fantastic film. Thank you. Alex, hi.
Yeah, hey everyone. My name's Alec, SF based and representing writer director for One Night Before Sunrise.
Fun film. Thank you. Good to meet you. And Robin, not last, not least.
Hi, Robin Mortarati, co-producer of The Unbroken Sky
And where are you calling in from, Robin?
from Oakland.
All right. Backyard, San Francisco. I'm from San Francisco. This is Jason Wolos, the programmer for Shorts Film Festival. Let's ask Rajiv first. Why'd you make a movie?
I think as we discussed in the Greenfest Q&A, right, that Greta mural that's in the film sort of came up while I was living in the apartment. We filmed that in my apartment, and it was kind of coming up while we were living there. It's like this massive 60-foot mural, and it's kind of only looking into my apartment. The rest of the buildings around there, if you're kind of familiar with the Lower Nob Hill Union Square, are like mostly like commercial or hotels. So it's really only looking at my apartment. And if you remember, we shot the film in early 2021, but in 2020 there was that orange Blade Runner sky day in San Francisco. I remember looking out that morning, seeing the skies were orange, seeing Greta staring into me, and I was like, I feel like there's something there. And so we kind of
Was that mural put up in like a day? How long did it take them to paint that?
I'm guessing more
you
than a
wake up one
day.
morning, there's Greta, 10 stories tall, just looking at you.
That's kind of what it felt like. I feel like I didn't notice it, and then one day my friends were over watching a movie, and they were like, have you, like, what is that? What, has that always been there? And I was like, yeah, I guess it hasn't, but now it is there. I don't know. I wasn't wasn't paying attention.
Luke, how about you? What inspired your film?
Yeah, I mean, I've been making movies since I was like a kid, so this was just another short that I had written that I thought would be kind of a fun thing to get together with some friends and shoot. The film itself, I mean, I don't know, there's not too much to it. I kind of just wanted to do it.
Right on. Well, glad you did. Very moody film.
Thanks.
Normandy and Robin, you're also with The Unbroken Sky. Why'd you guys make this movie?
Robin, why don't you go ahead?
Well, we were making this film to honor all of our ancestors, regardless of what countries they came from. The hard work, the being in a strange land that, ultimately in a couple generations gave us all the opportunity to make films. Whereas my grandfather came from Italy. He couldn't read or write, but he believed in education. He made it possible for my mother to go to school and for eventually, me to have a career as a filmmaker. So this is something for all those who dream and want to seek a better life.
Right on. Yeah, a nice tribute indeed. Well done. Sam, Bad day at work. Want to get ahead in the career? Why'd you make your movie?
Yeah, it was pretty putting it all out there, I guess, from the work side. My manager wouldn't be happy seeing it, I don't think.
Are you a full-time filmmaker? Or?
Hopefully soon. But right now I'm a mechanical engineer, so work in tech. So I'm giving them a bad name for sure if you've seen the film. But but yeah, like you had said, I think so. So for this film, really, like the motivation was to try to do something without dialogue. And it was out of a motivation of just trying to make something that was actually easier to produce. And it proved to be a really cool challenge, since it is a visual medium, to try to tell a story without dialogue. And then the story itself was kind of trying to answer the question, like, can you find passion in something that you're fundamentally not passionate about? So that's kind of what the question I was trying to address, and try to do without dialogue and make it as easy from the production side as possible.
I think you captured it. And, less is more in filmmaking sometimes, right?
Appreciate that.
Alex, what inspired you?
Yeah, my film is about a French woman and an American man meeting, and then, well, the aftermath of that. And we wrote this piece in like 2020 during the pandemic, when everybody was indoors. And when I decided to make my next project, that was kind of the only thing that made sense. And I really just think it spawned from not being able to meet anybody or strangers, or, and so it's very cerebral. It's very kind of high level, and definitely a byproduct of being cooped up for months.
Any inspiration from real life? Besides the pandemic?
Not particularly for me, but definitely stories from friends and roommates and passerbys interactions. So
yeah, I thought it was sweet. I liked it.
Appreciate it.
Wes, Luis, how to start? Inspiration, pretty elaborate film too, if you will. The production of it.
Yeah, it was used footage. It was leftover footage we had shot as a we were going to do a full-length feature, and so as a prototype we did this footage, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, we have to make it into its own thing, so reused the footage and made it work.
How much footage was left over from what project?
Zero.
Well, that was it. It was sort of like it was an opening proof of concept. Whereas last year we had done a piece that was set in like the 1800s, we decided to go back to the 1600s because there's an excitement about sort of doing these, working in the genre of fantasy, but making it more historically connected. And so we may revisit a longer piece based on this, but this was sort of like an atmospheric opening into what that would look like.
By longer piece, do you mean like do a feature film?
Yeah. Full-length feature, yeah.
And so why haven't you just done a feature to begin with? I can give many answers, but let me hear from you.
Well, it was kind of a proof of concept because being set in the 1670s, you can't buy anything off the shelf. So we had to make everything. And we were kind of asking each other, do we want to go down this road? How hard is it going to be? How long is it going to take us? And so everything in the film is created and models and shot inside. And so we just kind of decided that it maybe was too big a project at this time.
It's good to do a little, get your feet wet, if you will, with a short film before you go into a larger pool. Unbroken Sky, too. It has the material, the content for a feature-length film. Why didn't you make a feature film? I mean, it's fine as a short, but let me ask you.
Yeah.
Same, partially same reasons. We wanted to take on a project we knew that we could complete, that was actionable, that our budget would support, and a period piece that takes place in 1947 jumps to 1957. So we want to and hope to make series because we optioned the rights to 4 books. So we have the material. It's a matter of somewhat testing the waters to see how it will all play out from a creative point of view as well as from a logistical point of view.
Right. Well, it's a lovely story, immigrant story. Yeah, Robin, did you have something to say?
No, just to pile on Normandy a little bit, it was actionable. we needed to do something we could shoot in a week.
Wow.
Just because
That whole thing was made in a week. That's impressive.
a 6-day shoot, not horrible hours, but we had a very capable crew of 28 people. Most were recent grads from USC and AFI. There were senior members to the crew as well in terms of art direction, sound mixer, and like Portswoman, it was a little more achievable because we could find an auto club with period vehicles. A lot of the Santa Maria Valley where it was shot had not fundamentally changed. We just had to roll back the clock digitally, taking out light poles, turning the clock back to where it,
What was the total length of making your movie?
26 minutes.
No, I mean, how long did it take from pre-production to wrapping it up to finishing?
The better part of a year. We optioned the books years ago, and then the pandemic got in the way. We went to Mexico with the actual person the story is based on, who is Francisco Jimenez, just to gather more information. A lot of people think initially it's a documentary, but we took an oral history, his life story, and with our very talented screenwriter and director, Josh Peterson, went through a couple script iterations, and we plotted it out and were able to.
Yeah. Well, you also had multiple locations. Real quick, how many locations did you guys have?
We had probably a dozen locations.
Yeah, impressive. So
can you talk about, sorry, I don't mind to butt in, but I was wondering, can you talk about the author's involvement in the shoot? It sounded like it was based on a true short story, so I'm curious how he was involved.
And that's a really great question. 2 days into the shoot, I called him and told him he had to get down there. And the way I got him was I took my iPhone and just walked the set and sent it to him, and he started crying because the barracks looked like the home that they grew up in. And the next day we had him, his wife, his brothers, his cousins. I mean, there was like 50 people that showed up. And that was very informing for the actors, because our actors, who were very good, were able to talk to the characters, the actual family, and find, to further inform their characters. So it was a really beautiful experience, and we did it, I think, for all the right reasons.
Let me ask some of the other filmmakers, please. What about Luke and Alex and you, Sam? Why did you choose a short? Did you just we're going to make a short, or did the material lend itself to be a short? Do you guys, want to make feature films?
Yeah, I
go ahead, Luke.
I was gonna say, I do. I think starting with the short is sort of like a good way, at least the way I see it, to kind of do a proof of concept to see if there's more to it than after you've written it. So that's kind of my approach to it, is have a short go through a festival circuit and meet other people that want to make something bigger. And yeah, I just think going the short route, especially for me, I think there's still a lot of growth I need as a filmmaker, that I think starting with the short is smarter move for me.
Agreed. Sam, how are you?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything Luke said. I think also, I think shorts and features are just very different in terms of a story perspective. What you're trying to get out of them is different. So yes, you can use them as a proof of concept, but I think the most important thing, it's a very collaborative thing, filmmaking, obviously. So in order to make a feature film, you need a lot more people and resources to make it happen. So I think a short film is a great way to prove yourself with a limited crew. We shot our film over the course of 2 days, and really the core crew, including the actors, was 5 people. So you can make really good, and you can't really do that with a feature film. You need more commitment. People have to take time off their day jobs. If you can shoot something in a weekend, then you can prove yourself as a filmmaker without and get to that eventual end goal of making a feature film, get the funding without actually having the time and the resources to do that.
I want to add, yeah, and it's as an audience member too. I love shorts. They're bite-sized morsels of pleasure, right? It's just if you don't have time to feature film. So
yeah, they're different.
Yeah, they're different. Sure, different piece. Alex, did you want to add to this question?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've met very few people who want to make short films like for forever, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think most people I've talked to are just kind of waiting to make the feature debut. And I mean, it's kind of exactly what Luke was saying. The learning, the tackling different forms, different mediums. I feel like with each short film, it's kind of like I'm gonna attempt something new. With this one in particular, we shot my first time shooting on film, first time shooting on a sound stage for the entire shoot. So yeah, just trying to figure out kind of the best way to make something. And for everybody's individual process, I think is super important.
And real quick, joining us late, Jacqueline and Sureste. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Sureste, can you make yourself visible? What film are you guys calling in from?
Yes, calling in from the film So Misunderstood. And yeah, I'm actually switching to a device where I can do video. Give me one moment.
Great, thank you. Jacqueline, hi.
Hey, yes. Yeah, I apologies for being late. I might be the most accidental film writer and producer among us.
What's your film again?
So Misunderstood. So it's
Okay.
actually a short film to music, so there's no dialogue. It started as a simple music video that Sureste was the camera operator for in our first shoot at the end of 2019. And then the pandemic changed everything, and the scope of it expanded, and as well as the story.
Yeah. A lovely multi-genre film, if you will. How did it start? I asked these questions of these people already. How did you get inspired for this film?
Yeah, so it started with the song. The song was written from a place of sadness and anger about racism, sexism, homophobia in the world, and I just wanted to express that emotion that I had surrounding that. I wasn't sure I wanted to make a music video about it, but had always have ideas going for different visuals to accompany the music that I write. And I met Samara, who stars in the film, at a music venue, or our shared love of music was something that bonded us. And she asked me what I was working on, and if I had any ideas for film projects. I had wanted to work with her in a previous project, and I said, let me think about it. And then I just started seeing visions of her as she appears in the film, playing this tech worker, as she plays in this environment where she's
nice.
Not able to really find her footing in that environment. And really the film was always inspired by this challenge of inclusion and authenticity in a great workplace environment.
Very, very relevant, very timely film in the moment for sure. Normandy, did you guys have any particular challenges with your movie? Well, besides filmmaking, maybe unique to your movie.
You asked about the involvement of the author. He did not have any creative control, but one of the goals was to really capture his life story with respect. And so that being the goal, it did not constrain us, but it was something that I was always very aware of. What would Francisco think of this? What about, so he was included as part of the process. And because it's a family story, casting was the big one. That was the biggest challenge. We cast from San Francisco, Oakland, San Diego, Salinas, Santa Maria.
In my view, your film seems the most elaborate. Not that any of these films are unelaborate; they're all very sophisticated. But you had the most kind of working parts, from my opinion. Anyone else have any particular challenges they want to share with us, whether it's the nature of filmmaking or unique to your production? Raise your hand. Or they're all a walk in the park. They're all easy.
I don't want to necessarily play like challenge, Olympics with filmmaking, but after the second shoot, I was mugged, and the footage from 2019 stolen, and thought it was gone for 2 months. The original cinematographer on the project had moved to Japan, and I called him up. I said, please tell me you have the backup copy of the footage. I had started uploading some of it to the cloud, but hadn't finished yet. And he said, sorry, I can't find it. And of course, took me 2 years to get the project back on rails after the pandemic started. So
wow.
I was devastated. And then I got the best text of my life 2 months later when Ben said, I found the footage. And what was amazing was that he didn't find all the footage. He just happened to find what was the perfect complement puzzle piece to what footage I had uploaded to the cloud. And so it was some sort of divine intervention.
Just the necessary footage, that was the movie God saying they were editing for you. The gods and goddesses editing for you. Well, we're glad you're okay. My God, I definitely think you win. Can anybody beat that?
Yeah, I was just going to say the weather was worse than I expected one of the days, but that seems not apt anymore.
Yeah, weather's always a challenge, but it doesn't beat Jacqueline there. But Wes and Louise,
We built a lake.
your project.
We built a lake. It was a challenge.
Yeah, you created your whole 16th century world.
Yeah, we built a lake. It was and floated the boats in it, and created a bridge. It was 12 feet by 4 feet and 5 inches deep inside on the third floor. Doesn't the camera go into your made-up world and kind of pull? I can't remember, but doesn't it kind of go through the painting or come out of the painting or? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there
was a lot of movie magic in there. Yeah.
There was indeed. What's a favorite moment of your accomplishment or of making your movie?
I think for it to be kind of like an impressionistic piece, just sort of feeling the tone come together, even though there's a bit of a darkness to it, that it always sort of had I don't know, for lack of a better word, like an elegance to it that it wasn't always easy to sort of land on, but yeah.
Yeah, Louise, do you have a moment you want to share?
My favorite moments are working with the actors. My favorite moment is when she hears the baby cry and she just kind of sticks it in a bag. Not that I liked that, but I thought it brought out sentiment and it kind of pulled you in.
Yeah,
so that's why I like that moment.
Absolutely did that for me. Rajiv, do you have a memorable moment in your filmmaking experience with this movie, or it was all?
Yeah, sure. No,
it was all just Greta staring down at you.
Right. Well, we filmed it kind of pre vaccine, so I think there was kind of it was a pretty tight quarter. So trying to mask and keep windows open and do all that kind of stuff, and make sure everyone was.
Have you become an environmentalist or a greener person?
I have a lot more respect for it, but I try, like we all probably do, but lot of ways to go. Constant process of self-improvement.
Right on. Sam, let me ask you, forgive me if you aren't. Are you a first-time filmmaker? Is this your first film?
This is my second short film.
Just because you said you're a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
So what's a favorite moment? What's the standout moment for you? What's a takeaway?
Yeah, so I think my favorite moment was, we have a moment in the film where our lead actor Vedant, he is like sorting blocks into into like the table, and like he has a cylinder block and a square block, and he's going back and forth. And we sped it up in the actual, like as a montage in the actual film. But when we were actually filming it, he had to get through an entire box of blocks and sort them for about 20 minutes. So I really enjoyed putting him through that, because that was kind of the whole purpose of the film, was to kind of emphasize the monotony. And I didn't realize it was going to happen, but like you can see it on his face towards the end. He's actually dreading doing it towards the end. So
it's not just brilliant acting. You actually tortured him.
Yeah, I actually tortured him. So I think that was, but whenever you can you can implement torture into your films, I enjoy that. So
Yeah, it comes across. Luke, do you have a moment you want to share with us? A highlight or a favorite moment or just an accomplishment getting this done?
I mean, I was pretty thrilled to have it done. There was some COVID kind of played a role in delaying a lot of the shooting, where we had initially thought about shooting last summer, and then I got back from a job and had COVID, so we had to push it, and it pushed it pretty much till November. So we had to shoot all this stuff, all the outdoor stuff, at night in November, when it was like super cold too, up in like Marin, San Rafael, which, like, I don't know. I'm from Iowa and it gets like a lot colder there, but like ever since I moved to the Bay Area, I'm like just can't handle it.
You become wimpy, your blood thins.
So my fingers were pretty numb during that shoot, but otherwise, just happy to have it done,
Right on. Yeah, indeed. Accomplishments, all of you. Alex, any favorite moments, any takeaways, any highlights?
Oh man, like I said, this was my first film I shot on actual celluloid 16 millimeter. So I was pretty much just in an anxious kind of state for the 2 weeks while it was being developed and scanned. And we shot it in LA. I live in SF. So I flew back, and when I finally got the text from the DP and he sent me the still, some of the imagery, I was like, just could finally breathe. Because you hear, horror stories of things that can go wrong or things being exposed. So yeah, it was just a great moment to see.
Wait, forgive me if I missed this. Did you shoot this on film?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So then, maybe you're watching the tape, but then you send the film off to the lab and you're just waiting.
Exactly. Yeah, waiting for it. Hopefully everything looks right. And yeah, when you get the stills back, I was like, okay, now I can chill, take a breath. So yeah.
Jacqueline, how about you? Besides surviving and accomplishing, any magical moments, favorite moments?
One of my favorite moments was from the very first shoot we did back in end of 2019. And the other dancer in the film, aside from the main character, is a man named Antoine Hunter, who is a deaf dancer and advocate in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I think the most touching moment was when he danced in silence in the St. Mary's Square, which is pictured in the film. And, it was one of those moments where the director, before Seretse, Genova, said, "Oh, do we need to put the music on for Antoine?" And then wait a minute. No, he's going to dance in silence. And he danced in silence, but he danced perfectly on beat. It was incredible. And part of the reason he was able to do that is he was excitedly showed me his Bluetooth powered shoes that helped him feel the rhythm of the music in his body, so he could hear the music through his body, through his shoes. And so he had already learned the music, learned the rhythm. So, and when he went to dance, he was ready, and he just danced in perfect time. And it was just really beautiful and touching just to watch him dance.
Yeah. The dance scenes are wonderful in your film. Not to mention, I appreciate all the locations in the background, just because this is where I lived as well. So I enjoyed seeing that. But we got time for maybe one more question, but let me ask Robin the same question. A favorite moment realized in your film?
That we were on the last day of the shoot. And we made it.
Making it to the last day, that's a favorite moment for sure.
It was a long day. It started at sunrise and ended, 10 o'clock at night, we had a hiatus in the middle of the day. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. It was probably one of the best filmmaking experiences I've ever had.
Wow.
I loved everything and everyone that was involved in it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can feel, the audience can see that love, because it comes across. Great accomplishment. So last question, Bay Area filmmaking, your association with making movies in the Bay Area. Anything you want to add? What's good about it? What's bad about it? What's unique about it? Normandy, you're in my top corner. I'm going to start with you, if I may. Filming in the Bay Area.
Oh, wow. I've been an executive producer of not indie films, but in most genres, advertising, commercial, corporate. and there's a lot of talent here in the Bay Area. I'm a native San Franciscan, so I'm
right on.
very proud of that. And I love collaborating with the teams in LA. I think it's the perfect mix. And I started off working with the filmmaker Rob Nielsen, who you may know. Look him up if you don't. And I'm really proud of our community here in San Francisco.
Right on. Well said. Well said. Appreciate that. Rajiv, are you were a film student when you made that? Were you at SF Art Institute?
No. We weren't in university. We just filmed
just
in
the background.
that area. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
I would say, like, San Francisco makes location scouting really easy. It's a lot of really beautiful places to get a really nice looking shot there. So that was definitely my favorite part. Made that easy.
Cool. Luke, what about Bay Area filmmaking? Different from Idaho?
Iowa, to
Iowa.
be fair.
All right, forgive me.
But yeah, it's different. I would say definitely with the locations, it's you can find a lot more interesting locations than just a cornfield in Iowa. As far as like meeting with people, I think I feel like the community is a little bit small, or maybe I'm just kind of like getting into it a little bit more. But from the people that I have worked with, it's a really talented bunch, and look forward to doing more stuff here.
Yeah. Alex, how about you? With Bay Area filmmaking.
Yeah. I've been here for about 6 years now. Worked on like 5 different shorts here, and it's always the people, I think. Like my go-to DP is always here. Every crew, I've worked on. I just feel like they up the game. They care about art. They champion the project. They want to invest their time and resources into it, and I think that's super unique and cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Crew and cast, maybe like they attach to the project first, the job second, if you will, the money second. Maybe not to their financial benefit always. Robin, how about you? Any particular aspect of Bay Area filmmaking you want to bring up?
It's really, it's really the community. I mean, it's people show up, they support each other. I am always more than happy to come and crew on someone's film if I have, a contribution I can make. I've never picked up the phone where somebody didn't show up, and it's just maybe we had something interesting to do. But it's really a community that cares. They're very talented, and they feel a little different than Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's nice that we have the kind of the ability to use both talent sources from both cities. Sam, Bay Area filmmaking.
Yeah, someone who's just starting to get into it, I think the community is there, but it's hard to find. I think that's kind of my experience. Everyone I've met has been awesome, and the more events I go to, the more like mixers and projects I work on, the more people I meet. But at the same time, I have never met any of you folks before. So there's obviously a lot of work to do on my front. Yeah, exactly. Now I have. So this is why this kind of thing is great. And these kind of events are great, is to meet people. But for me, it's you really got to dig and find the people. But once you do, it's always worth it.
Yeah, agreed. Wes, Louise, Bay Area filmmaking, your thoughts?
We really like that there's such a variety of people in the Bay Area. We were able to find people that could do stunts, people that could do acting, people that did music really well. So I just think the variety worked really well for us, and making those connections. People, of course, that's the key.
Wes, anything else?
Oh, she stole my answer. No, it's true.
It seems to be the theme.
Variety of builders, makers, acrobats. Everybody's here, but getting to Sam's point, it can be a little bit of a challenge to find the people, but once you find them, they almost inevitably turn out to be really solid. So
right on.
There is something very satisfying about that.
Right on. Jacqueline, last but not least, Bay Area filmmaking.
Sure. So going back to your original question, one of the motivations of wanting to make this film was just to showcase the amazing talent, artistic talent that the Bay Area has, and people that are near and dear to my heart. So I think that's something that I think there's just an amazing plethora of artists with amazing talent in the Bay Area. There's somebody who I just met at the Crested Butte Film Festival last week, named Laura Wagner, who is running a collective called the Cinemama Collective, that is focused with Boots Riley on how to bring more cinema to the Bay Area, how to kind of grow the community within the Bay Area. So I thought that was really cool. She spends half her time in Oakland and half her time in Brooklyn, and making films. And so that was super inspiring to hear her talk about the Bay Area filmmaking. And then also, just in terms of comparing Brooklyn versus Oakland, she felt like there was a stronger community actually in Oakland, a little bit harder to find people consistently for large crews, but an amazing community in the Bay Area.
Indeed, and all of you are part of that community, and we're happy to meet you now and experience your wonderful little films, your short films. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Congrats, everyone.
Yeah, congrats everyone. Thanks for joining us here. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been another Q&A for the San Francisco Independent Short Film Festival 2023. Support and watch other great independent films at sfindy.com. Filmmakers, I hope to meet you in person. Come up and introduce yourselves if you're around, and stay in touch. Good luck to you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you.